Happy Friday, everybody. I had a really hard week this week, and I wanted to share about what made it also a really great and joyful week first. Because as teachers, that's what we need to look for every single day is the joy. That's why I named this channel First Grade Spark. We need to look for those sparks of joy. Because if we're not looking for that, we're just going to be spiraling down and talking and complaining about all of the negative things in education because, there is a lot of that. And when you look at other videos and teachers, so much is about complaining these days. But there is so much joy in teaching. And so I want to tell you a few of mine this week. We're getting near the end of the year, and I was doing a project with my kids. We were putting bulletin board up in our hallway, our very last bulletin board. I'll show it at the end. It's so cute. And they had a chance to do a little circle, and on the inside of the circle, they were going to write their favorite memory from the year. And we just went to the zoo last week, so I figured our brainstorming session was going to be surrounded with all the things they saw at the zoo. Of course, it should be. It was so fun. So I asked for kids' ideas to spark my second language learners who might not have an idea right away. Let's get some ideas flowing. Several hands went up. I called on somebody. Sure enough, zoo. I loved going to the zoo, and my favorite thing was seeing the baby giraffe. Me too, right? That was like so great. And then, there's probably 10 other hands up. I called on someone else, and someone else said, I loved getting to be in Mrs. Campbell's class. I was like, what? It was so sweet and wonderful. And I'll get into it in a minute, but that day had been such a hard day. And to be able to impact them, that's why we're here. We are here to help kids grow and learn. And when we get to help them grow and learn and also love growing and learning, what is better than that? Nothing. I can't think of anything that is a greater thing than that. And that's why I'm doing this job, obviously. So that was one huge joy spark for me this week. I'm sorry, I'm a crier. I'm going to cry on these videos, especially when I'm talking about teaching. I love it so much. The next day, like I said, we're getting ready to end our school year. And I have a little girl who, she is having such a rough time learning how to read, which breaks my heart because my number one goal in first grade is to send kids to second grade as readers. Everyone is there except two of my kiddos. And this little girl, we have been working. She is blending, but I can't say she's a reader yet. She will get there. She's just not a reader yet. But on Thursday, she was trying to read a 2-syllable word that was decodable. She was able to read it with all of the knowledge in her brain, but it was a big word and a 2-syllable word. And she looked at me and she wasn't sure. And I said, I want you to try it. So she got her finger underneath that word and she's back, and she looked at me, back. I read that word. Oh, you guys, what an incredible moment. It was an incredible moment in her life and for me. Huge spark of joy. And all of this was on a backdrop of, and I just want to be honest to say, this job is really hard. With the circumstances that we have been given by our cities, by our states, by our governments, it is hard. This week, one of my teammates was gone the whole week. Not her choice. She was in the hospital with her husband. Really, really hard. She did not plan to be there all week. So because of that, I needed to make her plans for her. I needed to set it up every day. I needed to make sure the sub knew what they were doing. Day 2 of this, she did not have a sub, so my other teammate and I had to split her class, and we had 35 kids each in our room, which makes for a really rough day. And then that day, my other teammate, there's just 3 of us on our team, she got sick. And so she was not able to be there on Wednesday and Thursday. So now I needed to plan for myself and 2 other teachers, make sure their sub plans were ready, make sure that their subs knew what they were doing if we could get subs. And in my town, just like I'm sure many other places in the country, we have a sub shortage. And so the first day we only had 1 sub for my 2 teammates. Well, I can't give a sub a class and a half, and we are not a Title I school, and so we don't have extra staff who could step in if we needed them. And so at one point in my room, I had 46 kids that day. It did not last long. My administration was wonderful and came down and helped out as much as they could, but they have their very, very busy jobs, and so they couldn't be here the whole time. It was a very, very hard week. And even in all of that hard and exhaustion, and I don't think I'm going to make it, I want to look for the things that will bring me joy, that bring my students joy, so that I want to come back the next day. I want to come back the next year. And that's why we're here, to impact kids' lives. And that's why I wanted to start a conversation with teachers about, where are you finding joy in this job? Let's stop complaining. Although we can vent, we need to vent. And in fact, when I came home after those days, that was my first things out of my mouth, was venting, venting, venting. And then, okay, but also this happened. And isn't that awesome? This is why I'm here, right? We do need to get those things out. However, we have to be looking for places where we're making impact, where we are bringing joy, where we see our purpose. When we lose that in all of the complaining and the frustration, that's where we're losing teachers. And man, we need you. We need good teachers. I know it's hard, but think about all of the impact. Think about the amazing things we're doing for children. I'm going to take you out in my hallway and show you the fun bulletin board. So this is our last bulletin board of the year. It says peace out first grade. It's got the fun bracelet. There's lots of different options in the pack that you can choose and print and cut out. It's just so fun. I love it so much. And then underneath is where the kids got to write different things. See? My favorite memory from the year was spending time with Mrs. Campbell and going to art and drawing birds. Oh, so sweet. My favorite memory of the year was being in Mrs. Campbell's class. Oh my goodness, you guys. Anyway, peace out second grade, and peace out to you all. Thanks for coming. Bye.